Hi, and welcome to Wake Tech's Medical Sonography information session. You are referred here because you have applied for our program, and what we're hoping to do with this information session is to provide you with the information related to applying to sonography. And the reason why the information session is here is because here are some important considerations that you need to consider before applying to the program. Our sonography program is competitive. What that means is we receive more applications than we can accept into the program. So when students apply to Wake Tech for sonography, they're not going to immediately go into the sonography program. There's actually no guarantee that you will be accepted in the program. We accept on average 8 students. We accept 8 students in the fall semester and 8 students in the spring semester, and we receive about 35 applications for each cycle. And so it's competitive in that we are going to award points for classes that you've completed, and we're going to cover. That's why we have this information session. We're going to cover this whole process, and you will be educated and aware, and you know what your next steps are going to be. Something else to consider when you're thinking of the sonography program: the general education courses that you maybe saw on the program planning guide, the English, the psychology, those can be taken in the evening. They can be taken virtually. You can take those one class a semester if you want. But if you're accepted into sonography, those classes are in a set order. They're only in the day. There's not a flexible schedule. It is difficult to work while you're in the sonography program, at least for a full-time work schedule, a full-time day schedule, because you will be in class and we need to get you to hospitals and clinical settings. So that is something to consider when you're thinking of this program. Also, if you're accepted into the program, at that point you do have requirements that you must meet, because the hospitals and the doctor's offices want you to meet these requirements. So they want everybody to have criminal background checks, drug testing, immunizations, CPR. All of that will be completed if you're accepted into the program. So you don't have to do it right now, but that is something to consider if you're accepted. All right. So 3 big things to consider. So if you want to get into the sonography program, if you are interested in our program, there are 2 steps to it. The first step is applying to Wake Tech. The second step is applying specifically to the sonography program. So hopefully you have already applied to Wake Tech because you were referred to this information session. If you have not, then you want to complete the Wake Tech application. We need your transcripts. If you graduated from college, a 2-year degree or higher, we do not need your high school transcript. However, if you had chemistry in high school, you might want to submit that high school transcript, but we need your transcripts. Once you've completed this information session, you're going to take the test of understanding. It is multiple choice. You can take it as many times as you want, but you need to score at least 100% on it to show that you've understood the material and you know what your next steps are. And when all that's done, you're going to email us at hsadvising@waketech.edu. Let us know everything is done, and that way we can get you admitted to Wake Tech. And what's going to happen is you're initially admitted as a pre-sonography student. As a pre-sonography student, that means if you do have college transcripts, they can be officially evaluated. If there are some courses you still need to take, some of those general education courses, you can now take those as a pre-sonography student. Your advisor will be any of the advisors who specialize in health sciences. And so you would book an appointment with us, with that specialist, to cover any questions you may have. Now, transfer credit is an important topic because we have a lot of students who have a lot of degrees. So, transcripts are only evaluated by the registrar's office. As an advisor, we can look at them, we can give you a general, unofficial, evaluation, but otherwise we do not award transfer credit. The registrar is the only one who does that. Once your official transcripts are here, once you have been accepted, they will review those transcripts. That can take about 3 to 4 weeks. So if you're wanting to talk to an advisor about what classes you have that are going to come over, then you probably want to wait until your transcripts have been evaluated. You will see your transfer credit in your self-service. And so you'll be able to see what has been evaluated. Now, as a pre-sonography student, you can register for classes. We have classes in the spring semester, which is January through May, summer semester, which is May through July, and the fall semester, which is August through December. You don't want to wait to register because classes do fill up. There is a registration schedule that is on the registrar's webpage, which will tell you the dates and times that you're going to be able to register for classes. And we do register online through that service called through self-service. And then you can pick out your classes, you can register for those. And if you want to create that academic plan, make sure you're making that appointment with the health sciences advising team. And you can choose a continuing student or a new student academic advising appointment. Now, as a general education courses, what classes are you going to register for? And we will cover this points calculation chart again later, because remember, it's a competitive process. You receive points for the completion of classes, and there are 7 classes that you can register for as a pre-sonography student. You have your English 111, which is your first college writing course. You have the English or Communications elective, and you can see that you can choose several options. It doesn't matter which one. English 112, 114, Com 110, 120, or 231. You don't need all of them. You only need one of them. If you're going to have a backup plan or a parallel plan and you think you might also want to register for radiography, then you want to take the English 112 or 114. So that's their choice. They don't have that communications elective. You have general psychology or psychology 150. You have a humanities fine arts elective. You can see there's several choices: arts, musics, religions, humanities, philosophies. You can always speak with an advisor to see, what counts. There are lots of them. We're going to use the class that you have with the best grade to award the points, but you only need one humanities class. Biology 163 is anatomy and physiology. There is a prerequisite to take Biology 163, and that is either a chemistry, and that could be a chemistry from high school, or it can be a college level chemistry, or it can be a college level general biology course that has a lab. There is a math elective, so you can choose either Math 143, which is quantitative literacy, or higher. Math 152, which is statistics, or even Math 171, which is pre-calculus. And then there's Physics 110, and it has a Lab 110A. So those are the classes that you can register for as a pre-sonography student. The classes that you cannot register for are the SON classes, the classes that begin with the SON. Those are the classes that are taught only at Perry Health Science Campus. They're only day classes. They are full-time. That's the schedule that is set. And this is the ones that are competitive. So these are the ones that you're going to have to meet certain requirements to be able to apply. And you have to be accepted into sonography, not pre-sonography, but sonography to be able to register for the SON classes. So, if you don't need to take any gen ed courses, you have everything, you've got them all done, you're now ready to apply to sonography. So, applying to the sonography program, there's a few things that you have to do. Number one, you have to submit a program application. The program application is online. It's on the sonography admissions page, and we have an application window that you can submit that to us by. You have to have the English 111 completed. You have to have the English or the communications elective completed. The math class must be done. The anatomy and physiology course 163 must be completed, and physics 110 and the 110A lab. Those courses have to be done before you can even submit the sonography application. You also must be a nurse aide, and you also have to take the TEAS test. All right, let's cover those additional items. The nurse aide certification. You have to be listed on the North Carolina Nurse Aide Registry by the application deadline, and we're going to go over that in just a minute. Nurse aide training can be completed at any state-approved training facility. Wake Tech does offer nurse aide through our continuing education department. You're welcome to take it there. Or you can go to the North Carolina Nurse Aide Registry webpage. It's up at the top of this slide, ncnar.org. Or you can just Google North Carolina state-approved training programs. These training programs last anywhere from 4 weeks to 8 weeks, depending on which one you choose. Once you have completed the class, you're going to take the state exam. There's a written exam, which is computerized, and there's a skills exam. When you have passed both, you will be listed on the registry. And to verify that, you're going to have to send us a copy of your registry listing. And how do you get that? You can see you're going to go to the North Carolina Nurse Aide Registry. I've got the email up at the top, and you see here at the bottom that you are going to put your social, last for your social, your name, and then what's going to pop up is this. And you can see the Easter Bunny is listed on the Nurse Aide 1 registry, and it gives us the original date, and there's a listing expiration date. That expiration date has to be good at the time of the program application, and it must stay current through the first day of SON courses. So you don't want to do the nurse aide class too early. It's only good, or at least as of right now in 2023, it's only good for 2 years. If you work as a nurse aide, then you can renew it. So be careful you don't do it too early. But don't do it too late, because you have to be on the registry by the application deadline. You also have to take what is called the TEAS test, and TEAS test stands for the Test of Essential Academic Skills. This goes through a company called ATI. It is online, so you can just Google ATI testing. It should take you to their webpage. When you're ready to take the test, you will make an account. You will schedule to take the test. It could be over $100 for the test, so hopefully you only want to take it once. We do recommend that you wait to take it until you have your classes completed to give you the best chance of getting the highest score. We accept the TEAS 5 or higher. As of 2023, there's a TEAS 7 now. As long as the test was completed within 3 years of the application deadline, we will accept it. You can test twice in a calendar year, but the test dates must be 30 days apart. If they are not, we will not use the score that doesn't meet the requirement. And we also superscore. So what does superscore mean? What that means is if you have taken the test more than once, and there's 4 sections to the test. There's a reading section, a math section, science, and English. We're going to take the highest score from each section, and then we will average that out, and that will give us a composite score. All right, so that is what superscoring is. If you take the test more than once, you are going to have to pay ATI each, to send us those official scores. and they will charge you per test score. And we will need those scores by that application deadline. And what is this application deadline? The application deadline, so we have a sonography class that begins in the fall, and that's August, and we have another program that starts in the spring, which is January. To apply for our fall class, the program application is due to us by January 31st. Remember, those classes have to be completed. You have to be on the North Carolina Nurse Aid Registry, and we must have T-scores by that application deadline. July 31st is the deadline for the spring, the following January start. And again, classes must be done, Nurse Aid you have to be on the registry, and we have to have the T-scores by that deadline. Now, what do we do? Why are we getting these program applications? Well, the program applications, you're going to send those. They are online. You download those to your computer, save them, fill them out, and then send them back to us. And once we get those, we're going to review them to make sure that all requirements have been met. We're then going to award points. And then we're going to send that list, and we're going to send that list to the department, and that's how we determine who is going to start the sonography program. Remember from the beginning, though we listed those classes, you can see A's are worth 12 points, B's are worth 10, C's are worth 8. And so for those 7 general education courses, we're going to give you points based on those grades. We're going to add the points up, and the top 8 students will be accepted. Now, if you have an AP score or a CLEP credit, you will receive points equivalent to the B. So, and the better points you have, the better grades you have, the higher points you're going to receive. You also receive points for that TEAS test. Remember, we superscore, we take the highest of each section. So if you score between a 63 to a 70, you receive 3 points. 71 to an 80 is 6 points. 81 to 90 is 12 points. 91 or better is 20. So this is one of the reasons why we encourage you, don't take it until you've completed your classes. Study up for it, because doing well on the TEAS is an important factor of getting into the sonography program. You can also receive points if you have applied for sonography, so you submitted a program application, but you weren't accepted, and so you reapply. You can receive 2 points for that. Also, if you graduated from a health care program, so you were it has to be at least a 2-year associate's degree, and it was a program that you had direct patient care. We'll need that degree, verifying it, and you could receive 2 points for completion of that allied health related degree. We also have a class through the Workforce Continuing Education. It is a career class, career exploration for sonography. If students take that, they can also receive up to 5 points in the process. So you could go to the Wake Tech webpage, click on the non-credit classes, type in sonography, and that class should pull up if we are offering it. Point-wise, you can see here's the last 5 semesters of classes. You can see the number of students who applied. So back in 2021 fall, I think that was our first year, we had 23 students apply. Now for 2023 fall, 2 years later, we've had 34 students apply, which isn't a lot, but when you only accept 8 students, that is a significant increase. And you can see for 2023 fall, the number of students, the point-wise, was 90 points to 104. That's the points that they earned through the grades, through the TEAS test, through any sort of additional points. And if you recall, when those points, remember we looked at the points you earned for the classes. A's are worth 12 points. There are 7 total classes that you can take to earn points. 7 times 12 is 84. So students who had straight A's in all 7 classes had a total of 84 points. Where did those additional points come from? That's the TEAS test. The TEAS test is crucial. So please study up for that. All right? So, points, that's how you get accepted. Now, what can you do to make sure you're competitive? Don't take too many classes. Don't overwhelm yourself. Make sure you're using all of the resources that are available to you that Wake Tech offers. The ILC for the tutoring, the STEM Center for the tutoring, wellness services, financial aid. There are lots of resources. There are success coaches that can help you with time management. All of that is accessible to you. Study for the T's. There are T's study guides in the library. Pull those out. Use them. Anything that you can do, all right? And you really need to prioritize your classes, because if you're not accepted into the program and you do make B's and C's, then we're going to need to either retake classes or we're going to need to make a parallel plan. So what other program could you potentially get into if you're not accepted for sonography? Now, what's next? All right, so you know everything that you need to do now to get into the sonography program, right? So you know you need to take the classes, you know you need to do well, you need to be a nurse aide, and you're going to take the TEAS test. So what you're going to do next is you're going to take the test of understanding. You're going to score at least a 100% on it. And then you're going to email us at hsadvising@waketech.edu to let us know it's done, right? Your Wake Tech application is going to be here. You're going to submit your transcripts. All of that's done. If everything is complete, you've taken all the general education courses at another college, and you're ready to apply to the sonography program. Make sure it's within the application window. For our spring startup, the application window is April 1st through July 31st. And then for the summer, it is October 1st through January 31st. So make sure you've got that program application. It doesn't matter when you submit it, just as long as we have it by the application deadline. If you know you still need to take general education courses, you've emailed us, you've told us you have everything, we'll hopefully then get you accepted as a pre-sonography student. You're going to activate your student account, you'll complete your new student orientation, complete the e-learning intro, which is in your Blackboard module, schedule an appointment with us, schedule an appointment with that academic advisor who's the health sciences advisor. Apply for financial aid if you need it so you can get ready to apply for your next batch of classes. So points to remember: you're first going to be admitted as a pre-sonography student. If you have a transcript from another college, the registrar will evaluate that. If it has not been evaluated after 3 to 4 weeks, you can email them. That email is right there on the slide. It's TRANEVALREQ @waketech.edu. You're going to take the required classes. You're going to complete the nurse aid class, be listed on the registry. You're going to take the TEAS. And then you're going to submit the program application by the deadline and hopefully have enough points to be competitive. You're looking again at probably 90 points or better to be competitive. So that was a lot of information. Hopefully it answered your questions on what needed to be done for entry into the sonography program. Your next steps: take the test. Remember, you can take it as many times as you need to until you get 100%. And then email us at hsadvising@waketech. Let us know it's done. If you have any questions, please feel free. Email us at that same email, and you can make an appointment with us if you go to the healthscienceadmissions.waketech.edu webpage, and it should say Health Science Advising. Thank you very much for listening. I hope we answered your questions. Have a great day.